Hello, Chrissy from Footprint Tarot here. I've just watched a CNN news story about Robert Meuller testifying on July 17th, and I thought we would have a look and see what is in the cards about him, his testimony, and what sort of things he may be able to reveal or clarify or bring to light. I haven't thought about which reading I'm going to use, so I think we'll just go with I think we'll do a possibility spread. So just excuse me for a moment, I'll find the spread. I like using different spreads. Some I know off the cuff, others I don't. This is one that... So, possibilities. This is a 7-card spread. So card 1 is going to be the possibilities currently available. Now, given that his testimony is just under a month away, or about 3 weeks away, something like that. 21 days? Yeah, about 4 calendar weeks, so yeah. So what are the possibilities that are currently available? I suppose that's looking at what Meuller is looking at, what he can talk about, what he can't talk about, what he can clarify and what he can't clarify, I guess. So first we'll have a look at the card at the base of the reading. Wow, the Tower. Whatever is going to come out, it is going to provide a Tower moment in all of this business with Trump and with the Trump administration. So that's a really interesting card to have at the base. Okay. Possibilities currently available. King of Swords. King of Swords, Meuller, basically. Yes, he is going to testify. And at this stage, unless it's something that's pertinent to an ongoing investigation or to national security, yeah, the possibilities of what he has is everything he knows, that he'd be willing to tell everything he knows without compromising those other situations. Reasonable basis for this possibility. Look, nostalgia, looking back. I think he looked quite a ways back with Trump, and I will do a clarifier on this a bit later, but I think he took a really, really good, deep, long look at Trump and the whole situation, and at the depth and length of Trump's relationship with Russia, which I would suspect goes way back longer. I mean, a lot of people speculate it goes back into the 80s. It wouldn't surprise me if it went back even into the 70s and even into, you know, I wouldn't go far as the 60s. He would have been in college at that stage, but yeah, even as far back as the late 70s. I think he's gone a long way back, looking at his relationship with Russia, with the oligarchs, and with Putin. So there's stuff that could come out about that. And I think he'd be, as long as it's not a breach of national security, I think he'd be willing to tell as much as he knows, because I think what he may have found out would not be very pleasing. Okay, what helps the situation with his upcoming testimony? I think what helps is the fact that he walked away from the Justice Department. He's no longer, as Chris Garamo pointed out, he's no longer a employee of the Justice Department. He walked away from that. He was never an employee of the White House. And this lifts a lot of restrictions that people may try to put on him. It helps that he had walked away. these up a little bit. Now, what hinders the situation? Temperance. Look, it's going to take a lot of patience and a lot of time, and it's going to be a real balancing act as to what he can testify about and what he can't, and people might not be happy with that. I'll just move this down a little bit, but that is the simple fact of the matter. It's going to be a real balancing act, and that means that it's not going to be as straightforward and easy as people would like it to be. Sorry. And it is going to be a fine balance between what he can testify about and what he can't testify about, and that is of course going to provide some hindrance in getting as much information as they can out of him. Deductions that can be made at the moment. This is the Ace of Cups, overflowing emotions. I think whatever he comes out with is definitely going to cause a lot of emotion to come to the surface. In what way, I don't know. But it could be disgust, it could be anger, it could be jubilation, just depending on what your output is. It could be fear, depending on who you are and where you are. So an upwelling of emotions from a lot of different areas. I think that this is the deduction that of what this testimony, what effect this testimony is going to have. A possible outcome of this testimony. It's got the GOP. This is classically the card for the GOP, but in another sense it's a card for an end. The end, it's a 10, which often signifies the end of something. I don't think it signifies the end of the GOP, but another aspect of this card, it's all rainbows and cheeriness on the surface. It is often I've heard some readers refer to this as also indicating a facade. So I think a possible outcome of this hearing is people are no longer going to buy the facade of what the GOP is. They're going to see underneath that facade, and that they're no longer those members of the GOP who only want people to see this, who are only interested in maintaining this and not doing their jobs as legislators and as elected representatives of the people of their country. That facade's going to come to an end. I think that's my reading of this. And the next step, what's going to be the next step after the... Oh, that's interesting. It's sharing money. A lot of people see this as the money laundering. I think more people are going to feel emboldened to share what they know about the money laundering, about all aspects of the money. This is not just following the money, it's all about sharing as well. So, and in this instance, it's like currently they've been getting little dribs and drabs, but I think this is going to put an end to the dribs and drabs, and people are going to be more emboldened. Okay, I'm just going to get a little clarifier on the second card, reasons or basis for the possibility of. And I think I'll do a clarifier on the first card as well. So let's have a look at the bottom of the clarifying cards. Queen of Pentacles. She's popped up for a lot of readers. Oh, so perhaps we might hear a bit more about her. A lot of people think that she's Rebecca Mercer. So there could be something about her hanging over this whole testimony, not her trying to influence it, but perhaps some information that comes out about her. I don't know. So first we'll get a clarifier for the King of Swords. Victory. He's going to be victorious. He's going to come out of this testimony victorious and feeling justified and feeling, yes, he's won this. I think he's going, a lot of the Republicans who will be on the committee, who would normally maybe try and deflate him, they're not going to win. When they ask their questions, trying to cast doubt onto it, they're not going to win. He's going to win this. And yeah, so he is going to be victorious in this testimony. Any people trying to cast doubt on his validity and his credibility, they're just going to be, blown in the wind. Now, the basis or reason for the possibility that he's going to open up as much as he can. The gaslighting. He wants to clear up the gaslighting that's been going on for a very, very long time about Trump. And not just the political gaslighting of the last few years, but the gaslighting that he's been doing to the American people for 40 odd years, yeah, and the next, I'll do a clarifier on the next step about people sharing. You might have noticed that I tend to choose a few different ways of choosing cards and everything. It just depends on what I feel like doing at the time. Mostly I just peel them off the top, but sometimes I will do a bit more. 8 of Cups. Well, if we put the 8 of Cups in with people suddenly sharing what they know about money, I think it might indicate that the next step is going to be a lot of people are going to start walking away from Trump. Whereas now they've been saying as little as possible, behaving and doing as Papa Trump says they should do, which is keeping their mouth shut. They might stop doing that and just decide they're better off walking away completely and telling the truth. Might see if there's any more to that one. Yeah, they're going to stop being fools, because in obeying Papa Trump at the moment, they are being very, very foolish. So they're going to stop being fools. They're going to finally take that step and walk away from him and share what they really know. Now, the testimony's a few weeks away yet, and only time will tell if any of what I say here is going to come to pass. But yeah, if you like what you see and you want to hear more from me, please click like and subscribe, and you can always leave a comment as well if you're interested in reading other things in the political area, or even with my historical events readings. If there's an event you'd like me to look at, I can do that. Okay, thank you very much, and talk to you again soon. Bye.